This is Just Between Us Mamas podcast. I'm Amber.
I'm Daisy.
And today's episode is going to be working moms versus stay-at-home moms. This isn't really a debate per se. It's just comparisons, the differences, and my child talking, and everything in between.
Yes.
This is where motherhood, when you gotta do this. Since I'm a stay-at-home mom, Bentley's here, we're doing it at my house, and he doesn't want to be in his playroom by himself with Encanto and all his toys. He's like, no, I'm going to be out in the garage where it's full of Mom. And Daisy.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking, oh, Benson's going to show up anyway.
Yeah, Benson is I started him at an early start preschool, so he's at school today. Yeah.
Okay, side note, real funny. Bentley, as soon as Zach comes home from work, if he's in his uniform, or like, it's always he goes up to Zach, and Zach, he's in support right now, so he doesn't really do much to make him stink.
Oh yeah.
Bentley will go up to him and go, ew, stinky, you stink. I literally geek out. I'm serious. It's every day he comes home,
so funny.
Doesn't greet him, just tells him he's stinky right away. So, a little funny side note. That's my
Welcome home, Dad. You stink. Bye.
So today's episode is going to be working moms versus stay-at-home moms. Daisy's done both. She's pretty much a working-at-home mom, if you want to call it that. I think that's a thing now.
I think so, yeah. Work-at-home mom. I don't have, like, a regular job. I am a small business owner, which is, based on, I sell everything from my website, so it's home-based. I do it with my sister-in-law. She's in Arizona, so we do like a whole long-distance thing with it. And then, so on top of that, I also do the stay-at-home mom. Since my husband is deployed right now, we got Benson into school a few days a week, part-time, just for my sanity.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Moms need breaks.
We do. Well, and I'm in school full time right now still too. I'm graduating in March, but
Girl, you do it all. I don't know how you do it.
Trying to
Can you
find
tell
time
them
to do it all?
what time? Sometimes you go to bed, like the latest time you've gone to bed.
I go to bed
She's
at
crazy.
2 or 3 in the morning sometimes.
And to tell them what time Benson wakes up.
And my son is an early riser, so he's up at like 5 or 6 in the morning. If he sleeps until 7 or 8, like that's a super sleep-in day. Like he slept if he does that.
Lord have mercy, I couldn't do it.
A lot of times on those days, I get him some breakfast, put his breakfast on the coffee table, I put on Scooby-Doo, and then I snooze on the couch for a little bit while he watches cartoons.
Hey, you need to sleep, or you're not going to be able to function for the rest of the day. I wouldn't be able to wait, and he doesn't really take naps anymore, does he?
So he naps sometimes now.
Okay, sometimes. So you need this little extra snooze.
But when he does, we're at the point now where he does nap, he's passing out at like 2, 3 in the afternoon.
That's a long time.
And then waking up at like 5 or 6 in the evening, and then he's up until like midnight. So it's like, even when he does nap, I don't really want him to at this point.
Yeah.
It's so late, it just screws up his whole sleep schedule.
No, I get that.
But yeah, it can be a lot some days. I'm definitely looking forward to Paul coming home so I can at least shirk some of my duties.
It's like I need to focus on the business a little bit, because I'm sure that's really hard to balance.
It is. No, it's definitely every day. I definitely have to neglect something. I have to be like, okay, I know that I need to do this today, but this is something I'm just gonna have to not get done, and that's fine. And I've learned to be okay with it because I've come to understand the fact that with the way that I have done this to myself, I every day have a to-do list longer than my day.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of about prioritizing, figuring out what I need to do, and my biggest thing is I make sure that me and Benson go and do something outside after lunch every day for at least an hour. And that gets us, some quality fun time together. It gets us out of the house, some fresh air, some sunshine, and it just makes the day go so much nicer.
I like that. I've been seeing that on Instagram that you've been doing that. That's really cute. Like the little nature trails and stuff.
Yeah,
I love
we did the nature trail the other day. We've been going to the park. Sometimes we'll just go for a walk around the neighborhood.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's nice.
It's definitely good. So I break up my day. So that way I've got quality time with him, and then I'm like, okay, go have some independent play, or you can watch a movie, and then I'll go and get some stuff done for myself.
That's awesome. I love that. But yeah, so you got a little bit of both going on.
I'm a crazy person. Every time I decide to do something new, my husband's like, why? Why are you doing this to yourself?
Did you say that about the podcast?
He did. He told him about it and he was just like,
side note, our husbands are best friends. That's how we met. So
yeah,
they're kind of okay with it. I was like, yeah, me and Daisy do the podcast, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, and it'll be nice when Gopal gets back because then they'll get to hang out with the kids and do whatever, and we can sit here and do our podcast and record our stuff. So
yeah, no, too, because like the lobby for we can do more game nights hopefully soon.
Yes.
We kicked their ass last time.
We did. They were so mad.
Drunk guys do not like losing. Heads Up is a very fun game. If you want to do that with another couple, super fun.
Heads Up is a great game night.
Oh, but besides off topic, working mom versus stay-at-home mom. So
Amber, you do more of the stay-at-home mom.
I've done both for like 3 months, and God, that was awful because Zach was on mids then. So I only work 3 days a week. So I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I'm still licensed. I don't really do hair at all. Like, if a friend asks me to, I'll do it for them just so I can keep up my skills because the plan is when Bentley goes back to school, I'm going to hop back in.
Right.
But like, right now, I'm pretty much stay-at-home mom. I love it, but it's hard. It's hard in the sense because I don't get a break for 4 months because my husband's, before they change the rotations, his deployment, I parent Bentley alone from 6 months to like it was almost 11 months.
Yeah,
because it was between
when he got home,
so it's like
right
10
before his first birthday.
Yeah, he got home in like the end of September, and so he was home for like October, November, and Bentley's born in November. But that was hard literally, and my family is over 2,000 miles away, and I didn't have anyone to come home, so that was like being a stay-at-home mom and always having to do it. So like as soon as Zach got back, I'm like, I need a break. Like I didn't get nights off, I didn't get days off before. Like I rely on my husband so much because he helps out a lot of times. He gives me break. Like he lets me, he'll take Bentley so I can go take a bubble bath, or if I want to go take pictures or something, because he knows that's like my creative outlet. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's putting googly eyes on his face. He's putting them on his eyes. Oh my goodness.
Bentley, you cracked me up.
But it was kind of like, I like it, but at the same time, I'm just like, sometimes
it's
like,
very draining.
Yeah,
it can be very emotional because you're
24/7.
Yeah. And like it's you get to the point at the end of the day where you're like, I just want someone to not need something from me for like 10 minutes. That would be amazing.
I'm so terrible at the cleaning part of being a housewife. I really am. Like, and that's the most important part of being a stay-at-home mom is because everyone expects you to have a clean fucking house. I'm like, I wasn't a really clean person to be going. I'm not like dirty, but like I will leave clothes on the floor.
You have a toddler that follows you around and destroys things.
If the playroom's a mess, like the playroom, I just shut the door. Like that's unless there's company coming over, that's the only time I clean the playroom. Like it's just gonna be a mess in like 5 minutes. But like a lot of people are like, you're a stay-at-home mom. Like your house should be spotless.
Like, and you come try and clean with a toddler and let me know how clean you get this place.
And like, and the only time that I want to clean is like when he's down for his nap. But half the time I'm so tired that I want to like
nap too.
Yeah, and like I'm not. It's not easy. And I'm like cooking all the time. Like it sounds so terrible, but I'm not a good cook, and I'm pickiest. I'm the picky eater, and I don't like making things that I don't eat because if he's not going to eat it all, so it's left for me to eat, and Zach doesn't eat any leftover, so then I have to eat it. Poor, he's going to think I'm bashing him. I'm not, I love you, honey. But,
no, I totally understand that. I am not a good cook. My husband is an amazing cook.
No,
like, his food is so good. And I keep
cook.
saying this whole deployment, I'm like, I can't wait until you come home so that I can have good food again because I'm real sick of my cooking.
No,
I can cook like 3 things and they're like, me.
It's just like those aspects of being most important everyone like focuses on as a stay-at-home, and they're hard for me. Like straight up, I don't call her my mom, but it's she is my birth mom. I'm not adopted or anything. We just don't have a relationship with each other. She was kind of like our house was very disgusting. Like, my house is nothing like that, but it's always been hard for me to clean because I get very overwhelmed easily. Like, it gets, like, you know, if the laundry's piling up, I get, like, if it's, like, more than 2 loads, I get overwhelmed. Kind of stuff like that.
Freeze. Yeah.
So, like, stay-at-home mom aspect of that, like, I love it per se because Bentley and I get to set up play dates. I run a mom group in this area, and it's mostly Beal spouses, which you'll have to bleep the name out. But it's mostly the spouses at our base, and then if they know someone local personally, I'll let them like join the group. And I love that because then I can set that up, and I can set up play dates all the time. I'm very because it helps my sanity getting out with other moms, and most of them are stay-at-home moms that come anyway, so everyone gets that socialization that they need. Don't you hit my camera? Okay, buddy. Okay, but like I feel like I was up all night with Bentley if he woke up, and I had to take care of him in the day and then my husband slept during the day because mid shifts, if you don't know, mid shifts for military are overnight shifts, which are like the worst shifts for families. It wasn't bad when I was pregnant, but like having a newborn. Because Bentley was a newborn, and this was the first 3 months of his life. I went back in January, and then COVID happened, and then I left in April. But I was gonna leave anyway because Zach was going to deploy soon, and I wasn't gonna work 1 day a week just to pay childcare.
Yeah,
which is a whole other thing. But that is a reason why I don't do hair anymore. Because hair is I love hair, but hair is so unpredictable. People sometimes cancel on you in the last minute, and once that spot's gone, if you're not super established in the area, you're screwed. And that's the part about being it's good being a hairstylist because I can travel and take that wherever. But at the same time, it sucks because you have to start over. And you have to build that clientele. And that is very hard when you're not a local. When you're coming in as an out-of-towner from somewhere else, it's really hard. And that's, as a working, I will never do that again. I was so mentally drained. I had no friends check up on me because this was before we were even friends. I felt so alone. I definitely had postpartum depression a little bit, or anxiety, or whatever you want to call it, just from working and being the only one taking care of Bentley and having to stay up all night. And God bless that I formula fed because I didn't have to, until Zach went to work. If I went, he would let me go to bed at 8 so I can go be ready up for work the next day. It was awful. Never want to do that again. Yeah. But being a stay-at-home mom, it has its challenges.
I think one of the hardest parts about being a stay-at-home mom is a lot of the expectations.
Yes.
I just feel like there's this overall societal expectation that because you're at home,
you should be doing everything.
You have time to get everything done. When the fact of the matter is, it's so hard to keep up because, especially as they get older, I always say
when he was a baby, it was so much easier. Because you can put them in one little spot and they'll stay there.
You put them in their playpen and they're good. But now, I always tell Paul, I'm I cleaned today, I swear, but he destroys literally faster than I clean.
Nope.
I'll clean one room and I'll come out feeling all good. I'm yes, I deep cleaned in there, it looks great. And I come out and he's completely destroyed another room. I'm at the point where I've accepted the fact that only one room in my house will be clean at a time.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Honestly, that's why I keep randomly sometimes Bentley will bring toys out there. But that's why we have all the toys, they're just in the playroom.
Yes.
Just in the playroom. So I can shut that out, and that can be the messy room in that house.
It takes so much of the mess away just getting rid of the toys.
No, it's in the one spot, and so I'm that's the one room, and just the dishes and stuff. Oh man, I'm lazy sometimes. I have no thing. It's just I'm just so when you're home all the time, you become more unmotivated. Does that happen to you?
Yes.
You're just so unmotivated to do anything.
It just gets so monotonous. And you just feel all that you do with your life is you cook, you clean, you mother.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're what did I do for me today?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that lack of motivation just comes from not feeling entirely fulfilled because you're so busy giving and doing for the house and your family.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, they're 100% worth it. I would do anything in the world I don't want it to come across like
but you know
I
what's
don't
funny
appreciate
too?
being a mom, but
People
there's
think
a lot of challenges.
that being like having a break to clean is your break for a mom.
That's not a break.
It's not a break. Like,
taking a shower is not a break.
No, it's
That's
nice.
Hygiene.
It's nice to get that
nice.
peace, quiet, like for a bubble bath. Like I'll put up the iPad, set it on the table, and I'll watch a little movie, and I have a candle going. Like that to me, like that is a break. But
I'll shower and
it's
I have wireless, waterproof headphones, and I'll listen to an audiobook and go take a shower, and it's such a nice break. But
it's not a real break.
I can't do it now unless he's sleeping.
Yeah.
You know, because I need to be able to hear if he's getting in it. Like this morning, I needed to shower this morning. He was 30 minutes late to school because of this. And I get out of the shower, and he has completely painted himself and our entire living room in yogurt. He got the yogurt tub out of the fridge and just, slathered it everywhere. And I just wanted to cry. I was like, I literally took like a 10-minute shower. Yeah. I was super fast in and out. And
I mean, it's really not a break though.
It's not.
Because like a lot of people just expect that society thinks that's break. And you see stay-at-home moms post about all the time, and then you read those comments and people are like, well then don't go work then. Like you have an easy. I'm like, it's not, because like you have to think about like you are.
You're on 24/7.
Like moms don't get breaks unless. Me and Zach, we haven't been on a date in 2 years.
Oh yeah,
2 years.
We've been on one date. When did we go? It was like around Valentine's Day last year, because a friend of ours gave us a gift certificate for a couples massage.
That's awesome.
And a friend of mine.
See, that's a break mom wants.
Offered to watch Benson for us so we could go. So we got to go do a couples massage and have dinner. And it was so nice. Like, we were only gone for like a few hours, but we got home and just felt so like refreshed and recharged, and we picked him up and came home and had a movie night, and it was great.
Can I just say, being a stay-at-home stay-at-home mom that's a military spouse is probably the hardest. Because it's family.
You're so
isolated. You talking about like being watched, and people are probably like, well, why don't you just have someone watch them? Well, the only people I like other than you, but we've never offered it. I did offer to her, just so everyone knows, that when her husband comes back, I will watch her son, because our sons get along. It's great. And I don't offer that to I will offer it to my friends, because I don't like other people's children. That's terrible.
That's fair.
I can handle Benson. Bentley and I can Zach and Bentley can handle Benson. Like that's fine. We've seen him enough that he knows like
we're friends.
Yeah. Like you know, like I could tell him, please don't hurt Bentley, and you wouldn't be pissed at me.
No, you're perfectly allowed to parent my kid.
Benson likes to body slam.
Yeah, he thinks he's a WWE wrestler some days, and like his love language is body slamming people.
He body slammed Bentley the last time we were over, and I'm like, Benson, please don't do that. And he just like looks at me, and Daisy's like, it's okay. And I'm like, good. I'm like, glad you're not gonna crucify me.
No, if we're ever together, like I am not someone who, if you see my kid doing something that he should not be doing, like definitely call him out on it. Say something. Yeah. Like that's not gonna bother me.
No, I feel that, but like we were saying, like people just have this. Oh shit! Now I can't remember.
Oh, when you're home.
Oh, being family. Yeah, people have like if you have family nearby
or siblings that can watch your kid, and
please don't take that for granted. Like I would give anything for that, like to have like a family member. Like we're doing a trip home soon, and I would ask my grandma, but my grandma doesn't have. This will be the first time she's meeting Bentley, and like Bentley's never been away from me and Zach. Like maybe a handful of 5 hours. I had someone watch him when he was a baby, so I can go run an errand real quick when that smoke was really bad that one year, and I didn't want to take him out because I still would take him out all the time. But like people take that for granted. Like that's the hardest part, because then you really don't get a break. Your spouse has to be off to watch your child as a stay-at-home mom, because that's the only person that you really like. I'm not saying I wouldn't trust you, but it's like it takes a while, and
that's
like
your person there until you establish those relationships.
And the worst thing about it's not saying that I don't trust people is Bentley might start being a bloody mess and won't stop crying for 20 minutes, and then I wouldn't get it. Like that's why Bentley needs to know the person, because I could probably leave him with you, and he would be fine, because you're gonna watch Bentley soon for me anyway.
Exactly.
But like if it was somebody else, like I know he would be devastated, upset, and that would be like they'd be crying, and then no one wants to watch a kid who's like that, you know what I mean?
Fully melting down the whole time.
And so, like, people don't understand, like, especially, like, when your family's so far away, I think it makes it even more harder than, like, in just being in general, because you don't have that support system to rely on. Because, like, a lot of stay-at-home moms, they have their family that they can rely on, like, to an extent. Probably not, like, as I'm making it seem, but at least you have that close by. Like,
yeah.
Literally, it would take 42 hours of driving one way to get to my family. And that, like, I think people don't understand, like, that's where a lot of the loneliness comes from, too. I think a part of it, because you don't have the support system help. You have to make it out here.
Yeah.
Which is, like, kind of, like,
that can be hard to find. It really can be.
Spouses can be mean.
It's very, I don't know, I don't want to get crucified by the military spouse community for saying this, but I feel like the military spouse community, it can be very cliquey.
Yeah.
And it can be very dramatic, you know, there's
and I think it depends on the personality.
I've found some amazing spouses.
Yeah.
Like you, for one. Like, I have, well, one of them actually just moved to Georgia.
Oh, but that's the hard part, too.
You know, I have you and I have my one other friend. Yeah. And you guys are probably the only people that, like, I really, like, know and trust. And, like, you're my people.
Yeah, and like I have lots of like friends like I met, like I wouldn't say I'm like this with, especially from Mama Tribe. That really helped. I feel like meeting people, you have to come to more. Like
I know. I was gonna finally make one of the playdate meetups, and then my tire like broke on the way there.
But I feel like that's very helpful, especially for the stay-at-home mom community. Like
it is.
Meeting someone and having playdates. So if you like are in somewhere, go to a playdate. Like that has helped me so much with like not feeling depressed. Like I get so excited for like the meetups. Like the summer, we went to like the splash pad all the time. Like the one that's with the slide. Like that is so much fun.
Really fun.
It was super cold though.
Benson for the last week has been asking
I'm not sick. I'm trying to choking on air. Ooh.
Benson for the last week has been asking me to go to the water slide and the beach.
Like, buddy, it's like
not quite there yet, buddy. We're almost there, but it's still cold.
No, but like I think about that a lot. Like I feel like stuff like that, like working moms and stay-at-home moms, they both have it super hard. I would rather be a stay-at-home mom and have like just because like with my husband's work schedule, it would makes the most sense for my family. Like when Zach was doing 12s. It literally, we didn't see him at all. Like he was midnight to noon, and then he would stay up for an hour, and then I would put Bentley to take a nap, or I would have to like leave the house. Like I'm sure other moms can relate to that. Macy, get the fuck. My dog is jumping in the window. But I feel like a lot of people can say like they're both equally as hard. You just gotta choose the lesser evil for you. That's pretty much what it is.
You have to figure out what's gonna work best for your family. And just know that you're doing what's best for your family.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, we won't judge. I won't judge the mom. Okay, that's going. Just choose because we get it. Child care is expensive, and like in this economy with inflation, you can't. It's hard to survive on one income. Like, thank God for the like some of the benefits we have, like insurance and stuff that's covered, and the housing allowance. If we didn't have the housing allowance, there's no way we would be able to afford it.
Box under the freeway.
Like, Zach did men like. They don't make much at all. Like people, like if you think the military makes money and that the government has too much fun, which is a total side note, they really don't. Like, God, like if they did not provide housing allowance, no, probably we would all live in shoeboxes. I'm not even kidding because it's terrible.
And finally, you know, reevaluated our housing allowance rates. I mean, after years of people really struggling because the housing allowance rates didn't reflect the cost of living in the area.
No,
especially because we're in California.
Yeah,
like, it's already a little bit extra pricey here, you know, and you add in.
Like you could buy my house back home probably for, I mean, when we bought it, probably for a lot less. Like, put it in perspective, my house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I mean, it's probably not the nicest area, but we don't really have any problems. It's an older neighborhood. My house is built in the 50s, but we bought it for $285 right before the market went crazy. A house literally one door away, it's a 3-bed, 1-bath, 925 square feet, sold for $320.
Yeah.
$320. Great for me when I move. Yes. But like that just, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that we don't make that money, and that's why a lot of us like stay home, because like you barely get by. One parent has to stay home, so you can make it. Because then
I worked for a little while when we first had Vincent. I went to work at the child care center on base,
and that's a lot.
He was like 4 months old, and so
did you get a discount?
You don't get a discount for working there.
Oh God!
So I was paying for him to be there.
How much did you pay for him
and working? It was how much?
So you was born in 2018, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
But half of my paycheck or more went towards his childcare.
And that's why
I was barely bringing enough home to make enough of a difference where it was
to justify.
Yep. And I was working long hours, and I breastfed, and it was really, really difficult for me because the shift, the position that I had was I floated to whatever classroom needed somebody, and they were really, really bad about giving me my pump breaks, because that was a whole other thing.
No.
It was really frustrating. But
that's
my milk supply dropped like crazy. I was supplementing with formula, which I personally didn't want to do. And then Gopal found out that he was going to be deploying. Yeah. And so I quit. We put all of our stuff in storage, and I went and stayed back home with my sister-in-law for his first deployment. Yeah. And this was in 2020. So this was he left the month before COVID hit hard. Yeah. And I mean, within a couple weeks of being home with Benson again, my milk supply was back up to fully breastfeeding. And
that's why
I did it, but it wasn't worth it for us.
No, I totally get that. I mean, if you're barely making a difference, I feel if you barely make a difference in your pay, then that's totally. Yeah. And then a lot of people are okay, well then find a better job. But being this is when it comes again, a military spouse. You never know when you're gonna move. I mean, luckily our husband's jobs are pretty unless they go somewhere else, they're pretty much here for their job. But other people, they fluctuate every 2 years.
And PCS is, if I ever use that term for anybody non-military listeners, PCS is a permanent change of station. So that's when they move you to another base.
Yeah. And some of them are pretty frequent. Some people I've always a littlest difference is 3 months. I've heard and so I mean we're pretty lucky.
It makes it difficult to get a good job, because even though technically employers can't discriminate against you for being a military spouse, it's gonna affect.
And you're not gonna get the job that you say you went to college to be some business accountant, or you know what I mean. It's a lot harder. That's why I say thank God I went to school as a hairstylist, even though they don't make that much money, and I couldn't justify keep working.
It's a little bit more flexible.
I could move a lot in but other jobs say you spend money on college I think people don't understand it's hard to if they don't have that position in the area, you know what I mean? And so then you're stuck with jobs that people think, well, then why did you get them a minimum paid job? It's well, those are the only things that are available to you.
Option was.
Yeah, you know.
No, when we moved here, I applied for a bunch of positions off base. I worked in restaurants my whole life. That was until I got that job doing childcare. The only jobs I'd ever had were in restaurants. And then I was a CNA for a while. I got my nursing assistant certification in high school, and I did that for a couple years. But transferring it to California would have been really difficult.
Don't they have a thing now where you don't have to leave?
I was pregnant when I moved and was planning on staying home, at least for a while anyways. And I decided to start going to business school instead of nursing school, so I kind of let that drop off. But a CNA is a really, that's kind of a hard... as far as the way that the shifts work, they're 12-hour shifts.
Oh yeah, not with family.
And so those are really hard to balance, with the childcare costs in the area, plus your spouse working. Yeah. You need that childcare for 12 hours, and honestly, CNAs don't make that much. I'd be paying more hourly for a babysitter than I would make.
There's a post on one of the local mom groups. Did you see how much people are paying for childcare?
It's a lot. It's over $20 an hour here right now.
Some of them are even more. Some people are paying $2,000 for 2 kids.
It's insane. It's just
that's literally our mortgage.
Not financially feasible for a lot of people for
especially in California. Gas prices are gone up. It's starting to go down. The Walmart.
It was up to $4.36.
It's $4.43 right now at Sam's Club.
It's $3.89 on base.
Oh my goodness.
But
$4.43.
I got excited when gas went down to $3.89. I was like, yeah, gas is cheap.
Since I moved out here, I've never seen gas under $3, and back home it's always like
I've
$2.
never seen gas over like $2.60 back home.
Like it's like sometimes it's like $2, like $1.99, or like when it's like gas is really low. Oh God, I miss that. And that, like, but that's a whole nother topic.
We can do a whole episode on
comparisons.
Gosh, yeah.
Where are we at? Oh, we probably should wrap it up.
Thanks for listening to us talk your ears off today.
Yep, our little rants.
Yeah, work at home mom, working mom, stay at home mom, whatever you're doing, you are providing value to your family. Like, don't ever think that because you don't work, you're not doing enough, or because you do work and you're not home that you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Whichever situation you're in, you're doing the best you can do for your family, and you are providing value to them in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's something really important to remember, because it's so easy to think, I'm not doing this, this, or this because I'm doing this, and thinking that you're wrong.
No.
Like, you're not. You're kicking butt, mama. You're taking names. Like, you're taking care of your family.
No, and I think that's super important that we end on that note. Like I said, you gotta pick the lesser of two evils for you. All are equally hard. All have their challenges. All have their pros. You just gotta find what makes, like Stacey said, what makes the best sense for your family.
Yeah.
If you need to try it out to see, you gotta do it. And if you need to quit because you're just realizing it's taking a toll on your mental health, or you need to stop staying at home because it's taking a toll on your mental health, do what you gotta do. You gotta also think about yourself too.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. Because if you don't take care of yourself, eventually no one's going to be there to take care of your family.
Exactly.
So we just wanted to, end on that positive note, and make sure we'll post links in the show notes. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Don't forget to check out our YouTube video.
Definitely watch the YouTube video. If you're watching the YouTube video, check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we will see you guys next week for another episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.